ecosystem, and that's obviously the great work that Alistair's doing up here with Interactive Scotland. So, back to that kind of the original inspiration. This guy that I was talking to last week, kind of really scary. He was saying that because he doesn't want this association with bad apps, when his apps drop down below 3-star ratings, he takes them off Android Marketplace. And I'm sitting there thinking, hang on a second, you poured all your life and soul and your kind of good ideas into this piece of software, and you're willing to throw that away just because someone gives you a 1-star rating and it drops your average down below 3. And he's saying, well, yeah, because I just don't, that's my only marketing mechanism I've got, is my 5-star rating. Even though he recognizes that school kids are going onto Android Marketplace and just for a laugh, giving people 1-star ratings because it's hilarious to them. But that's effectively damaging his business. He even said he actually knows his competitors are giving him 1-star ratings to knock him down. And because the way the App Store works, obviously, when you search for top-rated apps, you live or die by that star rating. And that just seems insane to me. So there's got to be a better way. We need to break through that. So how can this guy help you? This guy is an O2 customer. This guy's called Noel. He's in Sheffield. And what we've been trying to do is, we've thought long and hard about how O2, how Telefonica can help. Sometimes I think operators think they can help in lots of different places and they don't actually add any value at all. They just get in the way. So we've been looking very hard at kind of what assets that we can open up to help developers develop better products, better businesses. And I think one of the things that we did with a service called O2 Litmus, which I'll briefly talk about, is opening up access to our customers. And what I mean by that is when you go back a couple of slides and think about these challenges, so many people I still talk to, when they develop an idea, develop a piece of software, they test it with their friends. I mean, how objective is that going to be? Is that good enough to answer those challenges? I'd say probably not. So what Noel is doing through O2 Litmus is we've now recruited over 7,500 O2 customers in the UK who are willing to work with developers on a day-to-day basis to bounce ideas off, to prototype and test software, and feedback on all of those points we talked about. What are the features that really matter? What's going to keep me reusing this app day in, day in and day out? And to give you some context on that number, in a previous life in O2, I was the product manager for picture messaging. And when we launched picture messaging, we made something like a £10 million investment in infrastructure and stuff like that. We made that investment based off a decision of surveying 500 users. So we gave 500 customers early prototype MMS handsets, we let them do a trial for a few months, and we made a decision to spend 10 million. So if you think about that scale of investment with 500 people, we've already got 7,500 people sitting there for you to use free of charge. So, what we're talking about a lot at the moment is trying to, firstly, make people aware that this resource is out there and it's free to use. But secondly, try to move the conversation on from just developing great software and great ideas to thinking about the marketing challenges and how you can address those challenges that we had on that previous slide. So, within this environment, it's safe. You can play with stuff, you can work collaboratively with these customers, you can get insight in terms of, rather than testing out on your friends and family, you can get real insight from people around the country. And I think going back to the 5-star rating problem, if you think about launching some software into an app store, you're taking a huge risk there if you live and die on those 5-star ratings. So by working collaboratively with a couple of hundred, maybe a couple of thousands of customers before you launch, you've already got those fans there ready to go and give you those big star ratings. So it helps you build momentum. It helps you drive you up the application charts, which I think is going to be increasingly important. Why are we doing this? I mean, first of all, we recognize that internally, our innovation processes, the way we bring products to market, are screwed. We're not very good at it. I mean, I did 10 years of product management inside O2, and I've given up. It's not easy for telcos to bring products to market. We operate in a very traditional waterfall approach. We have all of these investments in market research. At this point, we then write a 300-page specification of the product we want. We then take a year and a half to build it, and then we all scratch our heads at the end of the 2.5 years saying, well, why doesn't anyone like this product? Why isn't anyone using it? Well, of course, in the space of 18 months, what you wanted then has fundamentally changed by the time you bring it to market. And that's the big challenge facing a lot of corporates, not just telcos. So first of all, we recognize that we need to tap into external innovation to drive our product portfolio and give our customers services that they're going to use and enjoy, and obviously stay with us. Jim kind of touched on this a little bit in his section about mobile operators. You know, any of you that are kind of familiar with the sector will know it's immensely competitive. It's very cutthroat. We're all fighting over customers. So the marketing strategy in O2 is very much about creating fans. And what I mean by a fan is someone that scores a 9 or a 10 out of 10 on a satisfaction survey. And the definition of a fan versus a customer is someone that's going to be much more loyal. They're going to be an advocate of your brand. They're going to tell friends at parties in the pub that, do you know what, this brand is actually pretty cool. You should try them out. They're going to be forgiving when we screw stuff up as well, rather than just kind of, you know, dumping the contract and walking down the high street to Vodafone or Orange. And part of this strategy of turning into fans, you may have seen things like, I mean, it's not geographically, it's a bit far away, but we give away tickets to the O2 for priority offers in London, but we've extended that now to the academies, the O2 academies. So that's part of the fan strategy, giving customers something different. And getting our kind of leading edge customers involved in things like Litmus is another kind of tool that we have, because what we're saying to our customers is, do you know what, we can't do this anymore, we need your help. And what you see, you know, from new kind of fresh, young brands is customers of brands are no longer willing to just sit back and get fed services. They want to have an interactive relationship with the companies they buy services with. And, you know, who better to ask their opinion than the people that will be paying you for your products and services? So by, you know, getting involved in this kind of collaborative testing, it empowers our customers as well. So it's not just a kind of... It's not just a passive relationship between the customers and O2, it's an interactive and engaged relationship, and they're actually picking and choosing and shaping the future of what we do as a network and as a brand. So it's all part of that path to fandom, to be wanky in marketing for a second. Right, so only 2 more slides. The next slide is just a plug for some free stuff, which is always nice. So part of, you know, this process that we're going through of trying to understand what developers want and how we can help, we commissioned, I don't know if anyone saw it, but we commissioned over the summer developer economics. I've got a few on me today, so if anyone wants one, I can give you them. I've only got 4, so you'll have to be quick. But you can go and download it from that URL. It's free of charge. And basically that survey looks at this whole area, this whole challenge of how does the developer make money, what are the right horses to back. So it looks at all the platforms, the 8 major OSs, and it's an international survey of 400 developers, and we've had really, really good feedback about it, so I'd recommend you read that. Either if you're in mobile or thinking about getting into mobile, it's a great resource. So that's me, really. I'd encourage you to check out our blog and start to follow us on Twitter and stuff like that, because we've got some upcoming announcements about refreshing our entire developer offer, some of which I told Alistair last night, but he's not allowed to tell you. So start following us, stay in touch with what we've got to do, and you'll start to hear the news announcements coming out from us, hopefully in the next kind of 4 to 6 weeks, so not too far away. And that's me.